Hi, I'm Christine Powell, and I'm a Half Centenarian, and I'm living my best life now.
Hello, Half Centenarians. I'm so happy to be with you again today. I have, again, a phenomenal Half Centenarian. I don't want to say woman because this is not a female show, but just so happens that this is a female woman that we're talking to right now. So before we get started, I just want to say Christine Powell is here at the gym, and she's going to introduce us to her happy place. And that's kind of where we're going to launch from there. But I want her to get a chance to kind of introduce herself to you, speak to you, welcome you in as well. And then we'll go ahead and continue this conversation.
So thank you for this opportunity. I think it's such a blessing to be able to sit here and share about how I'm living my best life now and the journeys that I've gone through. I'm very fortunate because, if someone says to me, tell me about who you are, my heart belongs to the Lord, and that was a journey to get to there. And I love being that as my priority in my life that has given me the courage to be able to step out of my box and live my best life ever. Fun facts, I'm a twin. I'm a mirror twin. I'm from Bellevue, Washington. I had two older brothers, and we told my daddy, pray so hard for a girl, he got two. And she's a retired nurse practitioner, and the blessing is that my mom was told during Twins Club to not name us rhyming names, not dress us alike, to have our own friends, and we've lived in very fun, independent lives. We're very close. We probably talk 3 or 4 times a day. We do a lot of twin things. Most recently, our husbands the same age. They now drive the same truck. We both live on a golf course, even though she lives in Seattle and I live in this area in Louisiana. So, and she's just been my heart and just been able to support me through all the different changes in my life. To have someone that is behind you and encouraging you.
And looks just like you,
and looks
by the
just
way.
like me.
Yes.
Yeah, and so my journey begins with the opportunity to tell women. I'm 63 years old.
Wow.
I've been very fortunate I have moved 16 times in my life since 1980. Wow. I graduated in 79 from Washington State University. Survived Mount St. Helen in 1980. Actually have my ash up on my ash. And fell in love with retail. So my life has been retail for almost 40 years. I started when I was 16 years old.
Wow.
I worked for a little lingerie store called the Pink Garter in Bellevue, Washington. When I graduated from college, my parents gave me $500 and said, have a great life, come visit anytime you want. And I didn't even have a car. And so I moved close to my job and was in management and learned a lot of great things being young, 21 years old and in management. And then ended up moving to Pittsburgh with one box. And my journey began there. I just love being adventurous and getting out there. And so I've lived 16 different places and I've owned 11 homes.
So to that end, you kind of launch into like one of the next primary questions we want to answer is, what is your purpose? Like, what gives you that step to move? What's moving you towards it, if I can ask that way?
I think for me, it's inspiring people. I am so blessed because I have been inspired by thousands of people being in the retail organization and moving customers, associates, peers, bosses, and not just, people a lot of times they think retail is just selling merchandise. You're dealing with people's lives every single day. And to have mentors in your life and to mentor people. And probably one of the greatest gifts that God has given me is to see the gifts in people that other people don't see and help them get the tools in their toolbox to get there. So many times when they're like, they wanted to grow in their career, but they didn't know how, or they got stuck because someone kind of put them in a box. And
so when you start saying you kind of helping them drive towards or guide them as a mentor, what would be like something you say? Because one thing you said to me when we were talking, even before we started this, is action. You have to, that whole failing forward, what is it about? They have a dream, you want to help them. What's your idea of helping someone move towards something that they're really excited about?
Well, have a plan and get them out of their comfort zone. And so many times people were put in a square hole and they should have been in the round hole. And once you take those gifts and you put them in the right direction, they bloom. And that to me was the greatest success of my life. So many people that got to fulfill their dreams to become managers or buyers, or be able to go run a 10K race, or it's just giving them the tools in their toolbox, as I always say, to be able to build it. But they had to do the work, and it's just doing the work and getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. What's helped you do that? If you can give us a couple of things, what's helped you to continue on this fantastic journey? Because we're going to talk about your life as well, and how you ended up here at 63 years old. We're sitting here in your happy place, and we're going to be introduced to that. But what was it about a couple of things that helped you do that? Get here.
Never giving up.
There you go.
Never giving up. Not letting things stop me. Like when I was running a store and I had a new boss. And after my first visit with this boss, I went home and I cried for 17 hours. I thought my career was over. I thought this was it. And then something inside me said, I'm not letting this mountain stop me from my dream. I'm going around this mountain, over this mountain, through this mountain, but I'm going to make it happen.
Just from me hearing about your background, where you were doing this and then you shifted your entire life, you might want to talk a little bit about that, because that seems to me to be an entire paradigm shift. Going from, because what you were just talking about being in retail, and now to where you are today, and some of the things that helped you to get there.
Well, I think the key thing, and these have always been my priority, is people, product, and presentation. If you get the people element out of the top spot, you're doomed to fail, because it's all about people.
Right.
So coming into working for the Y and helping people and inspiring people and being inspired by people, it is that paradigm shift. It's getting into where's their lifestyle, what's their goals.
So let's go back a little bit. How'd you get here?
Well,
to the Y.
I was in my retail career. My last assignment was to open a brand new store in Dedham Springs, and I did that. And retail was changing, and I decided that it was time for me to retire, walk away, take time off, get healthy again, because I was a workaholic. I worked 6-7 days a week. I traveled. So I took a year and a half off. I got right into the gym, but I had some great wisdom from a great book called The Slight Edge that talks about just go do your best every day, because most people, they get into a gym and they hurt themselves because they think, oh, I'm going to run for an hour, when they haven't ran in 20 years or ever run. So I just took my time, and so I got in great shape. I dropped 20 pounds. Didn't even know I needed to lose 20 pounds, but I did it. And travel, got in the car and went and visited friends I hadn't seen for 4 years, family I hadn't seen in 5 years. If you're a go person, if you're always working and you're always going, to be home and really have to sit at home and figure out what to do.
Right.
Because you really can't go anywhere. And I was working out at the gym, and I was influenced by people here. And I had this young lady who's a yoga instructor and a personal trainer, and she goes, oh, I said, how do you become a personal trainer? I took the risk. I got out of my comfort zone.
There you go.
And I said, how do I do this? Oh, this is what you need to do. So I did it. And I studied, and I'm so blessed. I have my dear friend Marcia, who's been a trainer for 8 years, who's 66 years old, so I'll try to keep up with her. And she mentored me, and she helped me. And I went, I'll never forget going to this gym in New Orleans to get certified. And it was 100 questions. You had to get at least 70 right. And I did it. And
nice. When was this?
This was October 4th.
Nice.
And I worked working at the Y, working at the help desk. And then Laura, the operation director, encouraged me to use my personal training, and that's how it's all evolved.
Yes,
And
over time.
It's over time.
So how's it been for you?
It's been great. I've had a couple clients, and what's so neat is I have clients that have special needs, people that came in that were fearful of the machines. You know, we talk about how people come in, they only use the elliptical or the treadmill because they're
Right.
afraid to ask for help, and it all gets back to that. We're here to help. We want to help. Give us the opportunity to help. And so much, it's so eye-opening when you teach them how to use these machines, and they're like, oh my God, this is great, and this is balance, and I can do this. And then give them a routine. And then when you see them come back and follow that routine, that blesses me.
Nice.
That blesses me. That means that I helped them get there and do the work. And
So how do you think all of that came together? Like out of all the stuff you've just mentioned, retail to working in, what was it, Chanel counter, you did a nonprofit, now you're here, you retired, you stopped working, you started working, you stopped. So all of that in a span of how long? Because you're 63 now, in a span of how long did you have those wonderful opportunities?
let's see here. Started out working when I was 14, but I would say for retail really started for me probably in 1976.
Okay.
So that was probably over almost 40 years because I've basically,
Wow.
yeah.
And so during the time that you retired from your retail company, how old were you then?
I was 58 years old
58. So from 58,
until
Half Centenarian, to now, you're 63.
yeah, just turned 60.
You have worked in another industry, retired, traveled, and now you're a personal trainer.
Yep.
All right. So what I want to ask you is, all those wonderful things that you've done, what would you say that has been your purpose, your focus, like, you know, your passion, and that helps you live your best life? What is it about all of that?
My key, I think for me, is to encourage people. I want to help people. I'm an over communicator. I want to share. I learned something. I want to share it. I want to help people live their best life.
What would that look like?
To me, it's like not being afraid to introduce yourself to someone and get
something
to,
as simple
and
as
get
that.
To, and get to know them. And a perfect example, you know, I finally retired and I'm walking my neighborhood, and there's this neighbor, and we say hello, and the next thing you know, we're best of friends forever, we're friends for life.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, let's have coffee sometime. So then the comfort zone is you're meeting a stranger, and then do you have that confidence within yourself to get to know somebody new? And that led to not only the blessing of have such an incredible spiritual friend, but Judith is the one that introduced me to Marcia, my trainer.
Yes.
So it's how you connect and accept people where they're at. You know, we're all different. We all have different stories. We've all lived through challenges, disappointments. I think that so many people, unfortunately, because of certain medias out there, think that people live perfect lives, and they don't. And actually,
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head on that, because they had this post that said, live like you post. You know, we don't always live like we post, but we project things that are not quite there.
Right.
And so I just wanted, just with this whole time that we've been together, your life in all the years that you've been working, but just look at all the phenomenal things that have happened just because you stepped out of your comfort zone and introduced yourself to one person, who then, you know, could take a whole nother turn. You introduce you to Marcia, and then you get your personal training license, and then here you are sitting here in your happy place. And we want to say thank you for allowing us into your happy place as well. And our goal is to kind of say, you know what, Half Centenarians are killing it out here. You're doing great things. And what you've shared with us so far, I want people to say, you know what, maybe I'll go in, and next time I go into the gym, I'm going to ask for help.
ask for help.
You
We
know?
want to help.
Yeah.
You know, and
And get out of that comfort zone.
And I think one thing too is set your goals
Set goals.
and do the work.
Do the work.
And one of the examples I brought.
That's awesome.
And I wanted to share. I've lived in Zachary, Louisiana twice, which is kind of interesting. I lived here 2000, 2002, and getting out of the comfort zone, went to these women's seminars. I was learning about finance, and so the last seminar was about setting goals and write them down, make them happen. And I have found in my life, people talk about vision boards and all that. Well, my vision boards has always been in my head. I set a goal and I work towards it. Well, they had us write down a goal on a postcard, and in 6 months they were going to mail it to us at that time to see how we did. Well, I was at that point that I was seeking to grow and find a new job, a new company, an opportunity where I could continue to grow my career. And so this is what I wrote on my goal card. It says, obtain a new job with a great company in a beautiful city. And when I received this, I was working for Belk Department Stores in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I had fulfilled this goal.
Wow.
And I keep this to show that write it down, make it happen. You have to do the work, but you've got to have the focus to make that happen.
That's right.
So.
And then what's the other one you have? Share that as well. That's beautiful.
So this is this is called Power Girls. To make a magazine, this is me at 50. So this is me at 50. And I became vice president for Belk Department Stores at that time. I love being involved in nonprofits. Part of the beauty of life is to give back and to be a part. And this group called Power Girls, they helped young ladies learn to have self-esteem and to focus on goals and achieve goals at a young age. These are like junior and high school girls. So I had the opportunity to be a motivational speaker at one of their seminars, and they did my story in their book, Power Girls. And this really was a great achievement for me, that just felt like that all the things that I've done in my life really came to fruition. Because when I was 18 years old, I wasn't positive.
Right.
I was very negative. I was very insecure. And one day, a girl that went to high school with me, she goes, Chris, I always liked you, but there was always something wrong. And I always complained to get attention. And she goes, have you ever read the book, The Power of Positive Thinking? I said, no. And she gave it to me, and that's when it changed my life. And I learned, and I choose to be positive every day. I had a mentor who, when I was working in Dallas, she called me to her office. I'm like, oh no, oh my God, what's going to happen? And she goes, two things she said to me. She goes, do you exercise at all? Because all I was doing was working. And so we started power walking, a group of us that day, at lunch every day. And the second thing she said to me, she said, when you show up every day, show up as the same person. Don't one day come in and being grouchy and all that, and the next day being all sweet and kind. Be who you are and be consistent. So figure out who you are and be consistent.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let me just say, this is a phenomenal opportunity to meet Christine, and I'm so glad we got a chance to share her with you and how she feels about life and how she is living her best life. And all I can say is the points that we can take away from here: be positive, be consistent, do the work. We are doing the work. We're out here grinding, Half Centenarians. Thank you so much for being with us. I am so thankful, have the honor to meet such great people such as yourself, Ms. Powell. And what we're gonna do is keep our heads up, keep moving forward, keep pressing. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thanks. Hey guys, we are here in beautiful Jackson Square in New Orleans, Louisiana. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Phenomenal Half Centenarians living their best lives. More to come. Don't forget, follow us on Instagram at Half Centenarian. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube at Half Centenarian as well. Stay tuned for so much more. So many marvelous and wonderful people. Half Centenarians living their best lives. I'm so excited. We have so much in store for you. Stay tuned, be with us, and don't forget to share those names of people that have inspired you in your life. I look forward to seeing you soon. Be safe, be careful.